Everyone, hope you guys are having a good night. Please let me know. Let me know right now because I'm having some technical difficulties over here. Can y'all hear me okay? I'll type it in the comments too. Can y'all hear me okay? There we go. If not, I will have to sign off and do this again. Okay, great. I'm glad you can because the thing didn't do. So, okay, I appreciate it. So, we are going to be talking about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. We had talked about that earlier on TikTok, but the difference between YouTube and TikTok is here. Once it's recorded, it's recorded. You can go back if you come in late, et cetera, et cetera. So typically at this part of the program, I promote the books that I've written, but I feel like this is a very serious topic tonight. Not that all the other topics aren't, but this one's a little bit different given the fact that I think it really is a bad day for America in general. And just to let you know, these comments that I make do not necessarily reflect my political views. If you guys are coming here, I am very neutral when it comes to my political views, at least on social media. I want everybody to feel welcome, and accepted and not have arguments. So you're going to get a non-biased format tonight. That's what it is. And so we'll get into more of it, but typically this is where I promote the books. I'm not going to pull the books up and promote them that I've written, the children's book. The only thing that I will say is through the rest of the weekend, basically till midnight tomorrow night, Sunday, or going into Monday, any of the book sales that I do have are going to go towards the, for Aubrey Wyatt's mom, Heather. We're going to be raising money for her. And so 13% of the profits of those books go to them. You can order them through the TikTok shop or through justinontiktok.com. Now, that being said, I want to start the show off with this. Okay, so there has been a lot of names around. We had a Matthew Violet, I think, earlier, and now there is Thomas Matthew Crooks. Now, here's what I will tell you. I want you to look at this. This is why I took a screenshot of this. New York Post exclusive. Thomas Matthew Crooks ID'd as gunman who shot Trump during PA. That was 1 hour ago from when I took that screenshot. Then 38 minutes ago, FBI yet to identify motive behind gunman Thomas Crooks attempted. Now, it says it that way, but here's the thing. 38 minutes ago, when there was a press conference and it says the FBI failed to identify, the FBI did not name a suspect. The FBI said that they were not at a point to name a suspect and that we should expect it within the next few hours. And that was just when they did that presser. That was like 45 minutes ago at this point. So this name is out there. It could end up being the correct name. However, there has not been a single reputable news site that has confirmed it. There are like little 2-bit sites that have used this name. New York Post is using it. And here's the thing about New York Post. New York Post is right about 60% of the time. They have the best sensationalized headlines out there, so I often use them in videos for background. But you have to really make sure that if you are going to utilize the New York Post, that you do it in a way that you really check and really do your homework. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And again, for my TikTok friends, you can listen to this whole thing, but the visuals I'm showing are on YouTube. So if you want to talk, there is no sub chat on YouTube. It's just chat, just anybody who wants to know. Iris asked if the Mark guy was not correct. So the Mark guy was never necessarily correct. The way that I had mentioned it in the video was that this was a name that is, for the Mark Violet, I said that this is a name that is floating around, that I specifically said that I am not saying that this is the name. I'm just saying that I'm making you aware that this name is floating around, but it has not been confirmed. This name has not officially been confirmed. The Thomas Matthew Crooks also has not yet been confirmed by the FBI at this point or any law enforcement. In fact, they specifically said that we are not at a point to identify who he was, who he is, and that's it. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware. Now, what they did say is that he was 20 years old. I did hear them say that. He was from Pennsylvania. We did hear him say that, but that's all we know. Now, could it be this Thomas Crooks? Very, very possible. Very possible. But a lot of times people on TikTok and on social media will run with stuff without having confirmation. We don't do that over here. So that being said, let's talk about, that's not the right one. Hold on here. Actually, you know what? While I do that, get that prepared. I'm going to start off with this. So there was a doctor there who talked about his situation. He tried to help a victim the victim that did not make it. And so I'm going to play that real quick for you guys to take a look. And for those of y'all who are watching it later, sometimes YouTube likes to give like a violation type thing for using that. So if you're hearing me say this, but then this part gets trimmed out later, that is why, just to let you know. So without further ado, let me put this up. Hopefully we can hear volume on it, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll go on to other things.
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with.
Hearing any of the volume, so I'm struggling with this, guys, tonight. I had to restart this thing before it came on, and I don't know why we're not hearing it, so I guess we're not doing that either. We'll try that again later. Normally this works flawlessly, but we are struggling tonight, y'all. So let's just jump right into it then. If you had heard me earlier or watched me earlier on YouTube, I'm gonna get it pulled up here. Taking a minute to load. Here we go. I'm going to make myself smaller on this so you can see it. This is one thing that I want to show you. So this to get just kind of show you trajectory or show you the layout of what happened. If you see the red pin up at the very top, that is where the shooter was, and the blue dot toward the bottom, it's got a red line, direct shot sight there, line. That is where Donald Trump was standing. Now, for those of y'all who aren't aware, the former president was slightly wounded. It grazed his ear. There was blood. He was then then dropped down to the ground. Secret Service then rushed to cover him and then ushered him up. Can y'all can hear it? Okay, hold on.
Help you. The guy had spun around. I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, "He's been shot! He's been shot!" So I made my way over. I said, "I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you." The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got him up on the bench. Shot that you saw? Then I did CPR, did chest compressions, as well as I breathed for him.
Okay, guys, so that was the doctor who was there, who helped the person who did get shot. Sorry, trying to turn that down a little bit. Sorry, this show is not going typically as smooth as it normally does. For some reason, I'm having some type of technical difficulty where the mixer that I use isn't going through correctly exactly, but just saying that that's kind of why it's not going smoothly. But we'll go ahead and continue. So that was the doctor he talked about. You saw that he did have blood on him. I'm going to go back to this picture since y'all were able to hear it and talk about this. Now, one thing that I will say too is that there have been reports that say that at least 3 law enforcement officers plus several other spectators did see somebody crawling on the roof. I think somebody used the term bear crawl. And it was reported. Apparently, they're looking into it, but I find it very odd. And I'm not doubting anybody. I'm sure that the Secret Service and everybody did the protocols that they were supposed to go through to secure the area. However, it's a little. I can't. I'll just put it this way. I'm interested in hearing more information as to how this was able to happen when it was so close and nobody was watching him either get up there or checking that area. Given that there was a good vantage site, you would think that they would have a drone up. And people would be monitoring closely, and that may end up happening. You know, when we talk about these types of attempts, after JFK, presidents were no longer allowed to ride in open top like convertible vehicles. When Reagan, who I believe is the last one who actually had an assassination attempt where they actually hit him, they made changes to protocols. Then the way the Secret Service handled things, I'm sure that'll be the same as it comes to rallies. They will take lessons from what happened during the Trump rally and basically, hopefully, make changes. And for the record, we would be having this exact same discussion tonight, whether it was Biden or Donald Trump or any other former president that's out there. I'm going to say this, and this is why the comments are turned off on TikTok, and they aren't turned off on YouTube. For anybody who wants to watch over YouTube, just please be respectful if you come over here. I turned them off on TikTok because if you look at the comments in my video, it has become very volatile. And in my opinion, today what we're looking at, feel how you want to feel about Donald Trump. Okay, love the man, hate the man, doesn't matter to me. Okay, but this is not a Democrat-Republican issue. Okay, this is an isolated incident. There's not some grand conspiracy theory out there that it was staged or that Biden orchestrated the hit, because I'll tell you right now, with Biden's resources, if he orchestrated a hit, supposedly, he would have had elite forces who would not have missed. Some people just want fingers to point fingers at people. They want people to blame for this. They're angry, emotions fly high, and I understand that. I'm empathetic with that, but sometimes the simplest point is point A to B. Now, that being said, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue, y'all. This is an American issue. Every single person, Democrat and Republican alike, should condemn this type of behavior. Now, Trump has made a statement, which we'll talk about. Biden has made a statement, which we'll talk about. And on top of that, every former president, living former president, from Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama have all condemned these actions. Even Nancy Pelosi has come out and condemned these actions and is glad that, as Lisa said publicly, that she's glad that Trump is okay. And she even, not really compared it, but basically said, as a victim of political violence myself, this is never okay. This is never okay. This is an attack not on Democrats, not on Republicans. This is an attack on democracy, on America. And in this situation, we should all be Americans, not trying to divide ourselves further from a political perspective. That being said, let's go to the next slide here that we have. So I can't share this picture on TikTok because of how they are, but this particular photo you can kind of show from afar, and I chose this one because it was from afar. The alleged shooter dead on the roof. At this point, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned earlier, sorry, a little flustered because of the technical difficulties. At this point, we do have the former president was shot. The shooter was shot and dead, neutralized by the Secret Service. You have one spectator who is dead, and you have two other people who were injured and are currently in critical condition in the hospital. Now, what I can tell you is that all three of the people that were hit were adults and males, and other than that, there is no additional information that's been released at this time. According to the most recent FBI presser, which was about 45 minutes ago, they basically said that the people who were hurt, who were injured, who were killed, the families of those people are still being notified. They want the opportunity to reach out to extended family before they hear it on the news. And that's understandable. The families deserve to know before we know. I also have heard by somebody who came in tonight that basically said that apparently Trump had arrived back in Florida, which would also make sense that he would go there after going to the hospital. Now let's get into the statements that were made. And then after we get through this stuff, I'll just talk from the heart on this. So this is the statement that former President Trump made after the attempt on his life. And I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong, and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Now, again, I'm just having a moment this morning, guys. So we're gonna take this down here. Try to put a show together too fast is what happens. So the former president the current president also made a statement before he addressed the country, and that was, I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all of those who are at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. Now, this was done shortly after the incident happened. This is posted to whitehouse.gov. This was also before he went on camera to address it. Now, on camera, he mentioned that this was a sick and violent act, that we must, as Americans, basically condemn this in its entirety. He also said that he was hoping to speak with former President Trump later this evening, which it's my understanding that he has. What took place and transpired in that conversation, that I do not know at this point in time. We may never know that, but President Biden did speak to former President Trump, so I can tell you that. Now, this is one of those historical moments, and I made the comment earlier that if you're a millennial or older, we've lived through a lot of historic moments. People are saying, as I'm walking, let me look this up, they're saying that Crooks's name has now been confirmed. Hold please while I take a look at that and see if it has been confirmed on my end. Okay, yes, it has been confirmed by multiple news sources at this point in time. So the shooter is 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. That is who is the man who has been identified. So Thomas Matthew Crooks, let me see if we have any type of pictures. We also are learning that in total, 8 rounds were fired from an AR-style rifle between 200 and 300 yards away from the podium. The FBI has taken over the investigation into the assassination attempt, and they are asking anyone, if you're watching this, if you were at that rally, and if you have video, audio, or any information, to contact them. You can do it through the FBI. I think it's fbi.gov/Butler, I think, or you can call 800-CALL-FBI. They're right now looking, this is under Pittsburgh Station, Pittsburgh Action News 4 is working to learn more information on Crooks. So we should probably have some more information on that shortly. As soon as we have that information, I will make sure to update you guys on that as well. Now, let me look to see if we can find any other photos of this guy. There's a couple other things out here. They're saying that photos are coming out. So I'm trying to see if we have any. Bear with me if there's any one station that is doing it. Here we go. We might have it. We might have one. Give me 1 second. Let me get this pulled up. For those of y'all who want to see it, I am on YouTube. I can't, because of where I'm at, I can pull them up on YouTube, but I can't show them on TikTok because it's yeah, anyways. So let me find this real quick. So this guy right here, if you can see him, it's not the best picture. This is what we have so far. That must be Thomas Matthew Crooks. If you can kind of see him, let me get it pulled up here. Hold on, there we go. This guy in the top in the little blurb that's not Donald Trump, that is the guy saying at this point no motive has been found yet. Very young, 20 years old is very, very young. We don't know what the motive was. And here's the thing. I know that it's very simple and very likely to assume that this was a politically motivated shooting. But if I may remind you all, let's not jump to conclusions till we have information from the FBI. Because if you think back, if you were old enough to remember, if you know the history on it, I was not old enough to remember, but I know the history on it. When John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate former President Ronald Reagan, it was not politically motivated. It was over trying to get actress Jodie Foster's attention. So please, again, take motivation with a grain of salt until you actually know what the motivation is. As I said, will it likely turn out to be politically motivated? Yeah, very likely. But at this point in time, we don't know that to be true. So I would encourage everybody to wait until you have confirmation of that from the FBI. Let me real quick look, because again, this is breaking as we're doing this. Let me look real quick and see if there's any additional information that I can find real quick on this guy. Sorry, did not expect to have more. I mean, I guess I should have expected to have more breaking news while we were doing this. We might have some more information here. Hold on. Oh, I don't want to go through a paywall. Lame. Hold on, guys. Let's see this guy. Now, bear in mind, here we go. That's YouTube. I don't want to do that. So let me see if I can find images of this guy. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I got something for you. This will be a good image for y'all. Small image, but a good image nonetheless. And I might be able to show this one as well. Before I get it pulled up here, guys, again, we're just trying to do this as we go. All right, now I'll get it pulled up over here. Again, not the best way to show the picture. It's kind of small. I wonder if I can make it a little bit bigger. Hold on. Sorry, guys, for the delay on this. Oh, I guess I sent some. Quick, guys, let me convert this real quick so I can push it over here to to YouTube so y'all can see it. This is not the best. See, this is not the best picture. That's too small. And it's uploading. There you go. There you go. Those are big pictures right there. So this is the guy who is. Oh, somebody said that they stand corrected. The video of Trump complaining is New Jersey, not Florida. So this is the guy, Jake, only not the guy or the AI video. So people are, so if you Google this guy and you look at like several websites, this is the person that they're showing, including on News 18. So I believe that this is the guy. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the comments. Sorry, but this is the guy. Apparently, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20 years old. He was taken out by the Secret Service. The Secret Service did neutralize him. But he's 20 years old, guys. It's very, very, very young to have so much hate and anger. Now, again, I understand that there is a lot of volatility in the current political climate that we have. There are a lot of people who loathe Donald Trump. There are a lot of people who loathe Joe Biden. That being said, it doesn't do anyone any favors by trying to end the lives of any political leader. Okay, it doesn't do anybody any favors to do that. The people are saying the guy in the photo is not Thomas Crooks. Okay, well, the guy in the blue. Well, that's what the news state. Here's. Let me go here real quick. Let me share this instead. Here's where I'm getting this photo. So this is. That's not it. Hold on. Let me remove these from stage real quick. We're going to present this. I will show you where I'm getting this from. This is from News Channel 18. That was this one. So that's the same one. Hold on. Where is it? Regardless, the one guys, here it is. Regardless, we can look at the one guy that's there and be like, that's him. So the guy in the blue looks a lot like him. It may not be him, I guess. News sites or whatever, but here's the thing to remember about this kind of stuff. News sites do get things wrong. These are the photos. The two of them together are the ones that are being shared a lot. I don't know whether it's true or not. People are saying that the guy in the blue shirt, and if you're on TikTok, you can't see that. But if the guy in the blue shirt is not the person, but that's what a lot of them are saying. But please do remember that with news, and I've had to remind people of this evening, even on YouTube, as a matter of fact, that the news is fluid. This is one of those situations that is developing very quickly. We take the information that we have at the time and we present that. Does that mean the information is always going to stay right? Not necessarily. It could be right in that moment, and as new information develops, new information is released, then that information can change. Think of it like science. Science, you can have something, but if there's more evidence that comes out to show something else, it doesn't mean the previous theory was wrong. It just means that you have an updated theory based on the information, and it's the same thing with this type of stuff. This right here is one of those situations that's incredibly volatile, that impacts not just the United States, not just the Republican Party, not just the Democrat Party, not just the United States, but literally the entire world is watching us as this is happening. So they're trying to get information out there as quickly as they can. We go with that information with what we have, and should things change and we need to make corrections, then we will pivot as we need to do that, just to let y'all know. But regardless, we know that it was 20-year-old. It's been confirmed, Thomas Matthew Crooks. Do keep in mind that when you talk about assassins or would-be assassins, you always use all three names. I don't really know why that is. If somebody has that information, drop it in the comments. But this is a 20-year-old. He's a kid, y'all. He's a kid. And to be filled with so much hate, to want to literally, take someone's life shows a real problem that we have in this country. We can call it mental health, because it definitely does not take somebody with sane mental health to do something like this. I think that that's a fair statement to say. As far as the gun control argument on that, I'm not going to get into that, at least at this point in time. I think that that's not necessarily relevant. I do think that there's a lot of questions on the way that they protect presidents and former presidents, given that this occurred the way that it did, because it seems to me that there should have, let me go back to this image real quick if I can. Bear with me, guys. Because when you go back to this image right here, it's a clear line of sight. You would think, and again, I'm not judging the Secret Service. I don't know what their protocols are. I'm not judging law enforcement. I don't know what their protocols are. When you come to a rally like this, the Secret Service is lead on it. So they could get support from FBI, they could get support from local law enforcement or state law enforcement, but the Secret Service ultimately has lead on it and makes all the decisions. So if there was somebody that they were concerned about, and it is my understanding that reports were made, even the press conference that was given, they did confirm that reports had been made, and they're still looking into those reports about suspicious activity. They did also mention suspicious packages, but I think they diffused those. Whatever they were, they didn't specify. They also have not released what type of firearm it is, although I've been seeing reports saying that it was an AR style weapon, although I don't really know. What it is. So that's, again, not officially confirmed. I'm just telling you the reports that are out there. It's just, y'all, I'm going to say it's a little, what's the word? Surreal, right? I mean, let's be real. If this thing had moved over a millimeter, we'd be having a very different discussion tonight. Very different discussion tonight. So the former president needs to consider himself lucky. Unfortunately, let's also not forget that there were victims of this. There are 3 families. One family for sure has lost a loved one. 2 additional families have loved ones in critical care in the hospital. So there could be more fatalities to this. And I think that we just need to keep that in mind and keep those families in mind as well. Trump is expected to obviously make a full recovery on this. I will say that I think that the statement that Trump made about the Secret Service was very nice. I also think that the statement that that Biden and Pelosi made were both very nice. Really taking the high road when they didn't necessarily have to. Whether they mean it or not, whether Trump meant it or not, who the hell knows? But they're nice statements nonetheless. Somebody is saying that, this is not confirmed, but somebody's saying that he's a registered Republican in the chat on YouTube. Again, I'm not sure at this point if that's confirmed or not. I'm just kind of giving the information that I have. So please, don't rely on me 100% with this. Do your own fact checking on things like that. Somebody else saying the news did say they had found an AR, and a lot of the stuff that you're going to find out will be coming from local news because they will probably get first dibs on this. But let me just kind of take these things down for a minute. I'm just going to chat about this. Going back to 9/11, and I'm saying this part because there in the last several years has been a very deep political divide on both sides. Republicans just absolutely hating Democrats. I've seen it in the comments, which is why it's subscriber only comments on TikTok, because that's where I think the most vile comments I've seen so far have been in the comment sections. But Republicans blaming Democrats for this, Democrats coming in saying it's too bad the guy missed, things like that. And look, again, love Trump, hate Trump, doesn't matter to me. Okay, my political opinions aren't relevant to this discussion or to any discussion. That's not why people follow me. I do breaking news, and current events, and current events and true crime. Y'all, I rarely cover political aspects at all. I'm covering this one because you're talking about a major political event. When you talk about the trial that Donald Trump went through, no matter how you feel about it, it is a major event. It is major breaking news. When Hunter Biden was convicted, major breaking news. So I will cover those. I will always do so from as non-biased of a perspective as I possibly can. So what I'm going to say is that please remember that this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American issue. And I think that if you really wanted to oversimplify it more, it is a human issue. I'm doing a case right now. I'm going to get sidetracked for a minute. I'm doing a case right now, covering a case on a 13-year-old girl who took her own life named Aubrey White. And she took her own life as a result of basically being relentlessly bullied. And As adults, we are supposed to outgrow bullying each other. But you can look in the comment section on almost any post, but specifically any political post, and all you see is grown-ass adults bullying one another. And on a day like this is just a disappointing and a tragic day for America in general. We look bad on the world stage. We look bad. You know, I've already seen comments from foreigners talking about, like, you know, the way we handle gun control or lack thereof, which is why this happened. You know, it doesn't look good, and I've seen Americans attacking other Americans over this. This is one person. Thomas Matthew Crooks is the one person who did it, and regardless whether he truly ends up being a Republican or he ends up being a Democrat or he ends up being non-political, it doesn't matter. It was Thomas Matthew Crooks who made the decision to try to assassinate former President Donald Trump. It was not Joe Biden. It was not all the Democrats. It was not all the Republicans. And if you can get out of that mindset and realize that you're not so different, most people, I mean, there obviously are extremes on both sides, but you are not so different from your political adversaries, meaning Democrats or Republicans. Get out of the mindset that Democrats are bad and Republicans are good, or Republicans are good, or Republicans are bad and Democrats are good. Get out of that mindset and just realize that y'all are fellow humans. These are your neighbors. And if we had another instance like 9/11, for example, which I've heard to mention earlier, then we would all be Americans on that day. When Ronald Reagan was shot, and I think this is the best way to really even drive this point home. When Ronald Reagan was shot and he got to the hospital, he made a joke to the doctor saying, "Well, I sure hope you all are Republicans." The doctor wasn't a Republican, by the way. He wasn't. But he looked at the president, he looked at Reagan and said, "Mr. President, today we're all Republicans." And that's how it should be. We should all be united as one person, as one country, and all condemn what happened, because it's an attack on freedom, it's an attack on democracy, it's an attack on the institution that we have had for 200-something years. Again, this is not reflective necessarily of my personal political affiliations or anything like that, but it is a reflection of my love of this country. And this country is far from perfect. It is far from perfect. And I'll be frank with you. Here's something that'll keep it neutral. I don't like either of the choices that we have. Okay, I wish that we were dealing with people 20 years younger in this election who represented more of millennials are the greatest population right now. So you have somebody 20 years younger, you're representing Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z a little bit better than people from basically the silent generation, which is Biden and, you know, very old, one of the older boomers, which is what Trump is. I think he's like the first year of the boomers. And so I would like people 20 years younger on both sides. I don't want to vote for either of them. So there's my political stand right there. But the point is that this is a sad day for America. Okay? This is a sad day for America. Trying to assassinate somebody who you don't like for whatever the reason, you as a single person do not have the right to take away the votes of millions of people. Okay? Thomas Matthew Crooks today tried to take away the votes of millions of people. If he had gone after Biden, again, I'd be having this exact same conversation. He does not have that right, but that's what he attempted to do, and he did fail. But just remember, if you are old enough to remember what it was like immediately after 9/11, minus the Islamophobia, if you remember how it was after 9/11, how we came together to try to rebuild and support New York and everything that happened, we weren't Democrats or Republicans that day or the days after. We were just Americans. This is a sad day in American history. That's it. That's it. And I will get off my soapbox on that, but that's what it is. Throughout the night, we'll probably see additional updates, additional information. We're going to learn more about Thomas Crooks. By the time we wake up tomorrow, there will probably be a lot more information. There'll probably be a lot more information. We're going to learn what happened, what happened with law enforcement, Secret Service, whatever, that they didn't miss, why they missed this. And you can take one thing to the bank, and that's the fact that whatever the gap was here with the Secret Service, that it will be fixed going forward in the future. It will be fixed going forward in the future. So, y'all, it has been a very, for lack of a better word, interesting day. I wanted to come on and address this because I think that this is very important. I think that it's also important to say and remind people that at the end of the day, we're all Americans, we're all human beings, and to treat each other with kindness. Stop bullying people because they disagree with you differently. If you're on the Democrat side, stop saying that you wish he had been hit. If you're on the Republican side, stop saying that this was Democrat orchestrated and Biden tried. I've literally seen people say that Biden orchestrated this, and as I said earlier in this stream, Biden's got like SEAL Team 6 at his disposal. They would not have missed if that was the case. And just remember that we're all neighbors, we're all countrymen. And again, minus the Islamophobia, remember how we were on 9/11. And that's how we need to be with this. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to like Joe Biden. But pretend that it was anybody else. Insert generic Republican. Insert generic Democrat. It would make it not okay. No matter who it was. Nobody, not one single person has the right to take away votes from millions of people. That's the bottom line. I will also say this too. I really appreciate, I was a little, coming on tonight on YouTube specifically, I was a little apprehensive of the comment section. I was worried that things might get out of hand, but you guys have been super respectful with all the people that are in here, and I really, truly appreciate that. If you are coming in late or you are watching this on TikTok and you want to go watch it on YouTube, it does stay under my live section, so you can watch it anytime. And the last thing that I do want to say, as I started this broadcast, I also said this, I have written 2 children's books. One is called Boundaries, the other is called Surprises Are Okay, Secrets Are Not. If you are not familiar with the Aubrey Wyatt case, it is very tragic. It is a woman who is trying to be silenced for speaking out about her daughter's death. In fact, she has been silenced with a court order from a very corrupt town, allegedly corrupt town. And so for the rest of the weekend, 13% of sales from those books are going to go towards, they're going to go to Heather Wyatt, Aubrey's mom, to help with legal fees and everything else that she has coming her way. So just to let you guys know that. Anyways, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We will be back probably tomorrow with more updates. And I'm just going to end with, guys, love each other. Remember that we're all human beings. And at the end of the day, you're not going to change anybody's mind. So, get along. Try to listen to the other person, the other side. You might find out that you have a lot more in common than you think. Have a good night, everyone.